G'day everyone and welcome to Melbourne Airport, where today we have the pleasure of flying on Singapore Airlines on board one of their Boeing 777s in business class. Flying business class gives you access to the business class check-in, which opened right on 3 hours before departure and only took a couple of minutes to have the 4 of us checked in. From there, it was a swift trip through the express path security, through the seamless passport e-gates and onwards towards the lounge. Now, if you've watched my other Singapore business class video, you'll know that my one big tip when flying out of Melbourne is to completely avoid the Singapore Airlines business class lounge and use their Star Alliance partner Air New Zealand's lounge, which your business class boarding pass allows you access to. This lounge is massive. It has great big window views of the airport, a large selection of drinks, great food, a barista for that important morning coffee, and a ton of great seating. Basically the complete opposite to the Singapore lounge. There are also some pretty nice shower suites if you need to freshen up before your flight. After a couple of hours in the lounge, it was time to head to our flight, which was down at gate 18 with an 8:35 boarding time.
Hi, how you doing?
Thank you very much.
My seat for today's flight is 12A, which is the second row of business in the forward mini cabin. I recommend sitting in this mini cabin if you can. Having only 3 rows makes it feel incredibly private, and since the toilets and galley are located behind you, there is barely any foot traffic past you during the flight. Waiting at your seat is a small pillow as well as the bedding, which is stored behind the seat. While we were getting settled in, a hot towel was handed out as well as a welcome drink of juice or water, confirmation of our meal orders and requests for drinks after takeoff and with the meal. Singapore provides amenity kits only on request, as well as slippers, socks and eye masks. When I requested an amenities kit, they happily provided them to my 3 other travellers at the same time. If we have a quick look around the seat, in front of you is a massive screen. Beside that is a storage cubby, a drinks tray and a mirror. There is a literature pocket, a cubby for your headphones and a water bottle, a pull-out remote for the entertainment, another storage cubby, a power and USB point, a light and a headphone hanger with a headphone port, a huge tray table that folds out and down, reading lights next to your head, a big panel of seat controls with another headphone port, and down below is a big storage spot just for your shoes. Here is a quick look at what's on the menu for today's flight. Everyone's criticism of this seat is the strange angle that you have to sit on to use the footrest. The seat is sat exactly square with the screen and the footwell is off to the left, so you kind of have to sit on an angle to outstretch. On top of that, if you sit square in the chair and you have legs longer than a child, when you extend the footrest, it jams your feet up into the wall. It's rather strange. But in saying that, if you laze around like a teenager, I find it really comfortable. We had a scheduled departure of 9:05 and took off from Melbourne at 9:24 a.m. The bathrooms on the 777 aren't anything spectacular, but they do have a very calming colour scheme, a nice orchid on the wall, and they are stocked with plenty of amenities that you could need during the flight, as well as perfume and whatever facial spray is. The provided noise cancelling headphones are average in both sound quality and noise cancelling, but they're better than nothing. I do recommend bringing your own if you can. Another thing I found strange is that the TV isn't a touchscreen, even though it's only about a foot away from your face, and the system seems to think that it's a touchscreen. Not long after the seatbelt sign was switched off, we were served some warm nuts as well as our requested drink, I went with the Silver Crisp Sling, which is an absolute favourite of mine, and they also served the Spanish Red that I'd requested with my meal. Shortly after was the first course of the service, a prosciutto salad, which was a nice appetiser. Up next was the main. I had selected the stir-fried lamb loin via Singapore's Book the Cook function, which was fantastic, but it also wasn't a massive serving, which was probably good because I knew I needed to save some room for the raspberry lamington I'd ordered for dessert. This was more of a cheesecake than your standard Australian lamington, but I could have eaten about 3 of these, they were so good. I rounded out the service with a glass of the XO cognac. After finishing my movie and letting my dinner settle, I asked the crew to make up my bed for an after-lunch nap. With the angled bed and smaller footwell, it can be tricky to try and find a comfortable spot, but the completely wide shoulder area allows you to move as much as you'd like to find it. The seat does feel quite exposed and lacks the privacy of some other business seats that have doors or those that are further away from the aisle, so this makes sitting in the forward mini cabin even better of an idea. After about a 3-hour nap, I was awoken to the smell of the refreshment being served, which was a wonderful soy sauce chicken noodle dish, and I had a glass of the Piper champagne to celebrate the start of the holiday. I followed this with an Illy single origin Ethiopian coffee, which wasn't terrible, but I certainly could have waited until we landed in Singapore to get something better. From there, it was a slow descent into Singapore, where I did nothing but sip my champagne and watch the beautiful scenery pass by. We booked this flight with Velocity points, where we managed to get 4 business reward seats at a price of 67,000 points and $240 in taxes each. For a flight that retails for $3,044 one way, minus the $240 taxes, that comes out at 4.18 cents per point in value. And the fact that we were able to find 4 seats on the one flight was incredible. It was our friend's first time ever flying business class, and having this as a first experience was pretty spectacular. And like the rest of us, I don't think they'll be going back to economy. If you want to learn how to use Velocity and Qantas points to book flights like these, subscribe to my channel and check out my latest videos. Thanks for watching. Until next time, see you at the pointy end.